Alright, in this video we're going to go over the different types of waves and brain activity of the sleep cycle. So we're going to go through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and REM, and what goes on during each one of those, and we're going to break down the different types of waves. So before we jump into the different stages of the sleep cycle, let's just briefly kind of go over the different types of waves and what they might look like. And by waves, I mean brain waves that would be measured from a person's brain by an EEG. So those are all of those electrodes that you put on someone's head, and then based on the different brain activity, you get different forms of waves. So the main waves that are present during the sleep cycle and wake cycle are alpha, beta, theta, and delta waves. So let's just kind of draw out a picture of all of these. We have beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Now, beta waves are going to be most height. They're going to have the highest frequency. Alpha waves are going to be a little bit more spread out, but still pretty high frequency. Theta waves are very spread out, so they're going to be more relaxed. And then delta waves, this is going to be slow waves, like that. And so we can note that increasing frequency. Now that we have the different type of waves labeled, we can go into the different stages of sleep. So let's start with stage 1. So this is going to be non-REM sleep. So there's no eye movement here. If we look at EEG, we're going to have theta waves. And if we look at EOG, which measures eye movements, we're gonna have slow rolling eye movements. All right, and if we're looking at an EMG, which is just kind of brain activity, we're gonna have moderate activity. So this is when you're first falling into sleep. You can go ahead and draw what these waves would look like. I'm gonna go ahead and make this all a different color just to be easier for us to visualize. And if we wanna look at the waves, they're gonna be those theta waves. So they're gonna look like this. So that is stage 1. Moving on to stage 2, the EEG is going to show something called K complexes and sleep spindles. And when we draw our graph, we'll be able to see that in a second. For the EOG, which is those eye movements, we're going to have no eye movements at all. And then for the brain activity measured by the EMG, we're still going to have moderate brain activity. All right, again, I'm going to change the color of this to be easier to visualize. And let's take a look at these sleep spindles and K complexes. So here, this is what we would call sleep spindles. And then this here is what we would call K complexes. So these little bursts of brain activity that look like these on the EEG. Next, we are grouping stage 3 and 4 together. Now this is where memory consolidation occurs. In the EEG, this is going to be your delta waves. So the slowest waves, deepest sleep. All right, so it's gonna look something like this. Slow wave sleep. Now our very last final stage is going to be REM. So for this measurement of the EEG, it is going to be most similar to those beta waves, but they're gonna be a little more jagged. And what is characteristic of this stage, REM, which is rapid eye movement, the EOG is going to show bursts of quick eye movement. All right, so they're going to look like these beta waves, maybe a little bit more jagged, like that. All right, make sure my colors are consistent. And then one important note about these waves up here is that theta is going to be awake and alert, and alpha is going to be awake and relaxed. And as we can see, the theta and delta waves we mentioned were in the different stages of sleep, so those are going to be sleep waves. Now, very quickly before we end this video, I think it is important to mention the effect of barbiturates. I can never pronounce that word. These are drugs that depress CNS activity. So this makes them commonly prescribed as sleep aids. If you have insomnia or something like that, these are often prescribed as a way to depress that CNS activity and make you fall asleep easier. All right, and that is all I have for you on our notes for sleep and the different kinds of waves, stages of sleep, all that good stuff. The notes from this video and all of the other videos will be on the link tree. For these specifically, these will be under sociology, psychology, and then titled sleep waves.